Hello there, this is Fan from Tech Gaming Villa. I hope you all are well. Today I'm going to talk about the two TV, the left side Sony X90L, which is full color local dimming TV, and the right side LG C3 different OLED technology TV. The LG C3 OLED is definitely better than the Sony X90L. The LG has inky blacks thanks to its nearly infinite contrast ratio and perfect black uniformity, and it has more lifelike colors thanks to its wide color gamut. The image on the LG barely degrades from the sides due to its wider viewing angle, so it's the better option for watching TV with friends. If you are new in my channel, then please subscribe and press the bell icon for future notifications and upcoming videos. I have another channel named Awesome Tech Gaming Pro, where I upload similar kind of tech videos like TV comparison, sound system, home theater, graphics cards. You can check and subscribe. When it comes to gaming, the LG is also better due to its faster response time, lower input lag, and HDMI 2.1 bandwidth on all 4 ports. LG C3 is an amazing TV, sure to please all but the most demanding buyers. The very good brightness in both SDR and HDR makes it well suited to watching anything from HDR content to the latest hit movies in HDR. It has superb reflection handling, and with its good peak brightness, the TV can handle bright rooms and glare without issue. But like almost every OLED on the market, it's better suited for a dark room where its OLED panel, with its deep inky blacks, truly performs at its best. Its very low input lag makes it a gamer's dream, as your inputs are translated almost instantaneously to the screen, and its superb response time makes it a great choice for any fans of fast-moving content, be it sports or games, as action stays clear and crisp throughout. The TV also supports DTS, making it a fantastic choice for your home entertainment center. The positive side of this LG C3 is its image remains accurate at a wide angle and very good peak brightness in HDR and SDR. On the other side, if you see the Sony X90L, the Sony X90L is a great TV overall thanks to its high peak brightness. It's great for watching shows or sports in a bright room. It looks fantastic in a dark room for gaming or watching movies in HDR. The credit should go to its high contrast ratio and full array local dimming feature, and it gets bright enough to bring out bright specular highlights in HDR. Thanks to its low input lag and quick response time, it's great for gaming, and it supports advanced gaming features like VRR. It has a narrow viewing angle, so it's not a good choice for a wide seating arrangement. The downside of this X90L is its subpar off-angle viewing experience. And the downside of LG C3 is its aggressive ABL can get distracting with large areas of brightness. But X90L bright enough to fight glare. If you see this 2 TV's picture quality, LG C3 has a nearly infinite contrast ratio like every other OLED, as each pixel can individually control its warm brightness due to OLED self-emissive technology. You can have super bright highlights next to pixels that are completely off, leading to perfect blacks with no blooming or haloing. It's very intrusive in a dark room. On the other hand, if you see the Sony X90L, X90L has excellent contrast, resulting in deep blacks even when bright highlights are close by. Unlike the Sony X93L, this model doesn't have a wide-angle filter, so the native contrast is much higher. The full-array local dimming feature is extremely effective at boosting contrast, but it's not as good as the mini LED backlight on the X93L. The measured contrast ratio on X90L is its 42,222:1 when local dimming is high, and the native contrast ratio is 4,751:1. And on the other hand, the LG C3 has infinite contrast ratio, which is much better. The LG C3, since pixels can be completely turned off next to pixels that are lit up to their maximum brightness, the blacks surrounding bright elements are perfect and don't have any blooming. On the other side, if you see the X90L have some blooming. The blooming performance of this TV is good overall. There's some noticeable blooming around subtitles and bright lights in otherwise dark scenes, but it's surprisingly good considering the relatively large size of each dimming zone. Sony's algorithm do a good job averaging bright highlights across multiple zones, so that blooming isn't as harsh without too much bleeding into dark areas. As with other OLED TVs, on LG C3, this TV doesn't have a backlight, but its self-emitting pixels give it the equivalent of a perfect local dimming feature with no zone transitions. We still threw in the zone transition video on this TV, so you can see how the screen performs and compare it with a TV that has local dimming. If you see the local dimming TV X90L, it has 88 dimming zones. On the other hand, on LG C3, it has 82,94,400 dimming zones count of, which is much higher. On X93L, although the algorithms do a good job averaging out bright highlights to reduce blooming, they are not very fast and struggle to keep up with fast-moving objects. It causes the leading edge to appear dark as the lighting zones aren't turning on quickly enough, and a longer bloom trail behind them. With slower highlights, there's noticeable flicker as they move across the screen. On LG C3, there's no difference in dark scene behavior between the calibrated picture modes and game mode. It looks fantastic. On the other hand, on X90L, there's no difference in dark scene performance in the game picture mode. If you see its HDR brightness on LG C3 has a very good HDR peak brightness. In certain scenes, it's noticeable improvement from last year's LG C2 OLED, like other OLEDs. Large bright scenes are significantly dimmer than smaller highlights due to the automatic brightness limiter. It's not very noticeable during normal viewing, as the brightness transitions are typically smooth and seamless. However, the TV is much dimmer when watching very bright HDR content for extended periods, and the LED is distracting when using the TV as a PC monitor. On the other hand, Sony X90L gets impressively bright in HDR, a significant improvement over the Sony X90K. Bright highlights stand out well, and real scenes are bright and vivid. Small highlights are almost as bright as the higher-end Sony X93L, but with most real content, the X93L is brighter. If you active HDR in game mode, the LG C3 is dimmer in game mode than in other picture modes, and it's noticeable if you swap between game mode and other modes. Still, it's bright enough for a pleasant HDR gaming experience, and it's an improvement over the LG C2 OLED for a much better game mode performance. On the other hand, on X90L, switching to game HDR picture mode results in roughly the same peak brightness in HDR. The LG C3 has a fantastic PQ-EOTF tracking. As it's an OLED, it has perfect blacks and follows the PQ-EOTF curve very well. The TV is over-brightened at lower luminance levels. When the TV gets near its peak brightness, its tracking acts differently based on the content it's displaying. For content mastered at 600 and 1000 nits, which is the majority of content, the TV clips everything above its max brightness, resulting in a loss of fine detail in very bright scenes. For content mastered at 4000 nits, the TV does tone mapping, however, its roll-off is pretty quick, so it won't preserve as many fine details here as the LG C2 did. On the other hand, the X90L TV has a fantastic PQ-EOTF tracking, ensuring that most HDR content is displayed at or close to brightness level intended by the content creator. Near black scenes are slightly raised, so some shadow details look a bit washed out. The LG C3 on HDR brightness is good. On 10% window, LG C3 produces 412 CD per meter square. On the other hand, X90L is very bright, 1261 CD per meter square on 10% window. But on 100% window, LG C3 is so dimmer, only 216 CD per meter square. On the other hand, X90L produces 720 CD per meter square on 100% peak window, and sustained brightness on 100% window typically the same. LG C2 OLED has a very good peak brightness in HDR. It's a bit brighter than the LG C2 OLED, especially noticeable when bright elements take up most or all of the screen. Its automatic brightness limiter is a bit less aggressive than on the LG C2, but it still dims large bright scenes significantly compared to smaller highlights. And if you see the Sony X90L, which is also super peak brightness in HDR, is bright enough to easily overcome glare LVE in a very bright room. The LG C3 has an amazing color gamut. Like most TVs in this market range, the LG C3 has nearly perfect coverage of the DCI-P3 color space, which most current HDR content uses. However, when displaying very bright images, its color accuracy is off. It struggles with displaying accurate greens, and all colors are generally undersaturated. Its tone mapping is also off, like on the LG C2 OLED, struggling with accurately tone mapping desaturated colors. Note that these results are done with the TV receiving a near 1000 nits stimulus signal. In actual usage, the TV's color accuracy and tone mapping is much better. On the other hand, the X90L has an impressive color gamut in HDR, so HDR content looks vivid and lifelike. It has fantastic coverage of the commonly used DCI-P3 color space, as well as decent coverage of the Nikon 2020 color space. Tone mapping is good in both color spaces, but saturated greens, blues, and reds are slightly off in the Nikon 2020 color space. And the other volume of LG C3 is basically identical to last year's LG C2 LED, and it's still very good. The LG C3 can push its white luminance a bit farther, yet it's still far from pure white. It also displays dark saturated colors well. On the other hand, on X90L, color volume is excellent. Dark saturated colors look great thanks to its high contrast ratio, and bright colors are vibrant and stand out well. So in this 2TB, which TB you prefer, the LG C3 or Sony X90L? Two different technologies. The choice is yours. Which TB you will buy, please write in the comments below. That's it from now.